alterations on this board in order to get it to fit in that spot, because these all four sides are locking tongue, locking groove mechanisms on all four sides of that hole and on all four sides of this. So there's no way of getting that in there without doing some modifications to this board. But before we get to that, something very important that you need to note whenever you're picking the board that's going to go in your hole right here that you've caused, you want to take a look at the board here and make sure that it's not going to match any of your surrounding boards here. You don't want to put two boards side by side in this hole, so always make sure that you find a board that does not match anything surrounding here. Another important factor, whenever you know that you're going to make your repair, you definitely want to get you a handful of boards, pick out which one you want, take that board in your house at least 72 hours in your heated area so it can acclimate and get to the room temperature and everything that your existing floor is going to work in, okay? If you have it in a garage or in the attic or somewhere where it's not climatized, always bring that board in, let it sit, and you need to do some precise measuring on the board that you're going to put in the hole. A lot of times what will happen if these boards right here are set outside in the garage or something like that, unclimatized, they're going to shrink up a little bit, okay? So if you wait until you get a hole cut in your floor and then you don't check that and you go to put your board back in there, what happens is your board's going to be too short and you're going to end up with a hole in the floor without no way of repairing it besides doing some shady caulking or puttying or something to fill up a very unsightly gap. So by all means, make sure that your board acclimates 72 hours and then measure it, okay? Because a lot of times if it has shrunk up from the cold, it will go back to its regular size once it gets acclimated and heated back up. So check it, acclimate it, check it, and then go from there, okay? That's the first thing you need to do before you even get this far, by all means, okay? Now that we got that out of the way, let me show you what we're going to have to do to this board right here to make it fit in the hole. Okay, time to make some modifications on this board so we can get it locked into the floor. We want to take a look at our board, determine what we need to keep and what we can cut off in order to make it fit. So we have on all four sides of this board, we've got two identical sides. Let's see here. We've got two identical sides here, and then we also have two identical sides here, okay? We want to actually keep, we only can keep one side, okay? The side that we keep, we want to keep the actual biggest side of it that will lock into our existing floor the best. So the part that we're going to keep is going to be this wide tongue right here, okay? These other little skinny parts, such as this right here, we're going to cut off. We're going to cut off this back edge right here as well, okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to get to cutting this off. So again, the only part we're going to leave is this fat, wide part that the other board will set onto and lock in just like so, okay? We're going to leave this. Okay, so I've just got me a sharp blade and my knife right here. I am experienced with using a sharp knife, so therefore I'm going to take and just hold my board in my hand and I'm going to shave it off. If you're not comfortable with that, by all means, lay it on the floor and take your blade just like so and cut it off, okay? I want to point out that my blade is actually at a little bit of an angle like that, okay? It's not straight down. It is at an angle working underneath the board, so I'm getting a slight angle on my cut, okay? Do not protrude over the edge of your board to the surface, to the visual surface area of the board. Take your time. Get a nice clean cut. Okay, there's one of them. So your board should look like that right there. Strictly wear layer showing. You should not have any back showing on the board whenever you get your cut made. It should look nice and clean, just like this. There, right there is the back of it. If you can see, like I was talking about, I do have a slight miter on my cut right there, okay? So that is all good. There we go. And if you can see right here, I still have the lip, which is going to cause that to lock in, okay, as I'm putting it together. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3 sides of this. I'm not going to have you watch this painful, slowly process right here. I might just speed it up for you, okay? So that is it. We got it all cleaned up, ready to go. We don't have now this edge right here. We have no locking edge on it. This end right here, we have no locking edge. It's all nice and clean. And the same thing with the opposite end right here. We have no locking edge. Only on the front of the board right here have we a locking edge, okay? Okay, so we got everything trimmed up and ready to go. You always want to do a dry fit with your board before you actually do any adhering to it to make sure that it's going to fit, okay? You do not want to get adhesive all over it and then find out that it don't fit and your adhesive starts setting up. You're going to have issues, okay? Always do a dry fit and then we can pull it back out, put some adhesive on it and stick it back, okay? So let's check this out. What we want to do, again, we got our locking mechanism right here on the front that we left on there. We're going to place it under just like so and the rest of it should fall right in place perfectly. So let's see how it works, okay? So I got, this is all good down here. This is all good on one end. This end, however, is raised up just a little bit. So what I want to do is take me a tapping block. I want to tap it in just a little bit to make sure that it gets locked in really good right here in the front, okay? Let's go with it. Did you hear that snap? That snapped right in place really good. Now I want to make sure everything is perfect before I put my adhesive on there, okay? So I'm going to get it completely installed like it needs to be, just so I can be 100% positive that it's going to be good, okay? So this is up just a little bit right there. I want to make sure it's going to go flush like it's supposed to, so I'm going to take my rubber mallet and do just a little tapping. Okay, that is good right there now, okay? I'm going to come down here and check out this other end. Again, popped out. Okay. So there you go. Everything is nice now. You hear that? No catching. Front, back, or sides on this. Everything is laid down nicely. So now that we know it's going to fit good, I'm going to pull that back out, put some adhesive on our existing floor, not on the board we're putting in. We're going to put it on our surrounding boards on the 3 sides. We're only going to put super glue on the 3 sides here. where we shaved off the locking mechanism, okay? On the front side, it has not been tampered with whatsoever, so we don't have to do anything up here, okay? I'm gonna simply take my razor blade here, that is in my utility knife, barely get it under there, raise up, get my finger under it a little bit, and that way I can, now, just like we took the other ones out, I'm gonna raise up and pull this back so I don't damage anything on this board or that board, okay? Okay, we got our board all cut and ready to place in position. We have double checked it to make sure it does fit. It does fit in there seamlessly. Don't have any lips on it or anything like that. It does fit flush and perfect. Now we're ready to add some adhesive. For this job, I am going to use a traditional super glue adhesive right here, and we're not going to put a steady bead all the way around through here, okay? We're only going to do like a drop, a drop, a drop, a drop, a drop. Every few inches we're going to put a drop of super glue, okay? Again, you don't want to get too much of this because you don't want it to squeeze out the top once you put it together, and you'll have a shiny substance, which is the super glue, on top of your dull looking finish that the vinyl plank has. I'm going to go on my corners, one here and one there, to make sure that my corner stays down good and it does not pop up, okay? And outside of that, I'm going about every couple inches with my glue, okay? Okay, we got our drops of glue down here and everything. We want to make sure it is drops, so it's a little puddle, so it's not going to dry up too fast, but once we get this board here, smash it down in place where it belongs, then it's going to disperse out and be really thin, and it is going to dry up really fast. So you want to get this right the first time, okay? And again, we're going to take this board, stick this tongue down right here underneath of that existing board, and we're going to stick it right in here just like a page in a book. Once it's in there, we're going to push it forward and down at the same time, like just the scooping method, okay? Just like that right there. Make sure that it's flat all the way around all four sides, okay? It's going to be good here. These three sides right here that we manipulated on this plank is the ones we got to be concerned about, okay? So here we go. I got it placed in here all nice and securely. Now we're going to push it down in there, okay? Okay, just like so. Once again, before I mash it down in the glue, I want to tap it forward just a little bit to make sure it is all the way in where it goes. Okay, now that that's down, I'm just going to take my thumbs and smash it all in there where it goes. It feels all nice and flat. This end, once again, has given me just a little bit of a lip there. I'm just going to take my tapper and I'm going to smash it flat. There we go, nice and perfect. Nice and perfect. Well, okay, now it's all good. It's all good everywhere. Now, you might want to take and set something, maybe a few books here and a few books here, just to hold it down nice and securely while your super glue dries, okay? Okay, thank you once again for tuning into the channel. I really hope this video will help you repair your vinyl plank flooring. Now you can move that unsightly rug out of the living room, out of the kitchen, anywhere it don't belong that you placed it to cover up your damaged board. Now you can get away with it and show your beautiful floors. And hey, if you like this video, I've got over 400 more, so be sure to browse around before you leave the channel. And until next time, thank you for tuning in. FBSB's out.